kidding me. Hello? Congressman. Known versus belief. A world full of lies and liars and deceivers and con artists. Now I want to do, I guess, I don't know if it's teaching so much, it's just sharing some insights of I see in my experience with the Bigfoot community. Now, back in 2017, I did a lot of on talk show radio and conversations with such well-known at the time and cutting-edge Bigfoot researchers like M.K. Davis. If you scroll in here, you'll find Kat Hansen. I did Scott Carpenter. Was it crypto PTSD? Is that what it is? And or PTSD? That's what it is. Whatever. And numerous other ones. All you have to do is go talk show radio and look up Old Religion Dystopia and Relief if you wanted to see the conversations that we had. They weren't really interviews as much as conversations. So this is way back. This is back in 2017, 2018, and by that time I had enough experience of other things that I was going through that I realized that it had nothing to do with what the mainstream or the narrative was. The controlled narrative was. And as I started to bring up this stuff of what I was experiencing, all these people, they all vanished as well because for one reason or the other, they didn't like to hear the idea that what I was saying is that they were dealing with some kind of a spiritual, interdimensional type of thing going on here, like the Native Americans told us for hundreds of years and knew for thousands of years. You know, here's the thing is, one has to understand about a couple of things. One is the weaponization of anthropology. Anthropology was weaponized a long time ago, and in particular in order to destroy indigenous populations and their belief systems. And the other thing is too, when you think about of what group of people caused the European settlers the most difficulty and problems, it was actually the North American tribes. The Indian Wars and prior to that, and we're talking way back in the 1700s on up. I mean, the Indian Wars didn't even, quote unquote, officially end. It's not even yet 100 years. And many people believe, based on recent events, and they're hell-bent on having certain groups of people to receive the injection, that it has not gone away at all. So, but one of the things is these groups of people caused this, what is quote unquote the Christian nations, the most problems. Outside of China, I mean, that's another thing, except what happened, they conquered them in a different way through economics and through that kind of stuff. Our road still lived road, so. Anyways, there is this also, with the weaponization of anthropology is also the fact that we're not, there are certain phrases that have been brought out in the past since I've been alive. One is Pareidolia, which is clearly the case. And the other one is conspiracy theorists. Now I find this fascinating because the attacks that I received, which is fine, I guess in the day, it's upsetting at first. I had to I guess I had to go through this all because it reminded me of why I left the Bigfoot community in the first place, because it is a controlled government psyop to divide and conquer and ever get people to find out the truth about what's really going on as far as the spiritual realm. Going back now with the people that caused the Europeans and their trouble in conquesting North America were these certain tribes. They understood things a little bit better. They're more connected to their environment, and I believe they might even have known God a lot better than the average quote-unquote Christian. Now, that's not very much of a bold statement. You could read the Bible and find out clearly what the Bible actually says and what Christendom has to say. Now, government and military and private contractors have constantly used psyops and psychological operations to divide and conquer people. And a lot of times they apply it on the Americans. Now, Americans are one of the most interesting groups of people, me being an American, is that we are the most brainwashed of people. We are so indoctrinated, and that we believe we've not been indoctrinated, which makes us easy pickings. And what's interesting, they have all these people that start attacking me without even watching the video. Like when Kevin Coble just started attacking the video, I'm like, wow. I mean, there's no way he watched the whole thing through. There's no way. Now, we're going to talk about a few things. I'm going to explain my background. My background is in art. It's in environmental science and management, in which I designed nature trails, and I did work in an environmental consulting field. So I actually have a science background. I also worked for Norfolk Southern as a train conductor, which they spent $1 million+ at training me. So I'm not some idiot. As an artist, I understand the difference between what pareidolia really is and when you film things in the trees or popping out of the trees. But they don't want you to figure that one out, because if you actually figure that one out, you just will discover a big part of the secret of what we call Bigfoot. Let's look at Kevin Coble, the wannabe wizard. Now, Kevin, he magically joined a member since April 23, 2022. Not soon after, about the same time I joined it, which is very interesting. This comes back to me and what has happened to me as well, because I have been gaslighted. I have been, blacklisted. I've had my channel on January 6, 2021 taken down, along with thousands of other channels. Anybody who's questioned the official narrative in any way, shape, or form, especially as we go down the past 2 years, our channels were taken down. Those of us who are trying to warn you, my fellow citizens, my neighbors, of what's going on, what happened to my mom after she received a certain injection, right? And what happened to my brother after he received a certain injection. It became magnetic, and I know 11 other people as well. And that the countless of people who have died and have suffered terrible health effects. So people like me were trying to warn you about that. So this shows you some kind of credibility on my part. I was willing to tell the truth, getting strike after strike after strike, until eventually they just took down my channel altogether. And so, you know, when you talk about the shadow banning thing, well, it's really been the case for me. What's fascinating about Kevin is if you look at who Kevin is, Kevin is nothing. There's nothing going on with Kevin at all. Nothing. There's nothing. There's no new post. There's nothing about Kevin. Let's find out about Kevin. Does it say? Now I'll share you my post too, and you'll find that there are thousands. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of posts, and I haven't not hit a thing. It says here, you look drunk. Look at all the grays. Not drink. I've heard every single gray. Funny, funny, funny. I wonder if he's a nurse, which even make it even more of a problem. Anyways, when you look at who he is and what he's all about, there ain't nothing. You see, let's go back and see how far back he goes with his stuff. So 2015. Truck driver. From 2015 all the way to 2018. Nothing. 3 years. When did he get interested in Bigfoot? Well, apparently, according to him, I don't see anything about Bigfoot. That's him, and he went on talking about trying to find some attention. Which, yeah, I will not deny that I'm looking for attention. And the reason why I'm looking for attention is because I care about you. Which I shouldn't care about any of you, because the way I've been treated the past 5-6 years, it's not worth it at all. But if you could see, I even got where I come from, where I live. You can see the art that I do, or what I did before I was damaged by a certain injection. You know, I have multiple sclerosis as it's riddling and damaging my body. These are some of my artwork, in which I did abstract artwork, so I have a very good a clear understanding of artist renderings. Like for this is supposed to be something out there in the universe, right? We can argue about what it is and this and that, but they're all artist renderings. These are all artist renderings. Not a single one of these things is real, folks. Any more than my drawings and my paintings are real. As far as outside of them just being drawings and paints, I even don't even hide this. And you can see back in 2017, I was sharing the images that I was capturing. And of course being accused of all sorts of things back then, but that's okay. I really don't give a crap what the government agent shill Kobold has to say. He's a weasel. And I'll take him on. I'll take any of you on. Let's just do an interview. I'm not going to have a typing war, because it's not going to work, and I know better than that, and it's just giving you guys a chance to the rest of those who are part of the government COINTEL to divide and conquer, to make me well, it's just there's a fascinating thing that happens to human beings in their nature. You will start out. It's interesting. Here's one of these dudes. You see the two black eyes, him popping out of there, and I know it's blurry. It's fascinating though. There's that guy right there. And I have videos of that. And by the way, I have videos of guys. There's a guy popping out of the tree once again with the cone head. There's another guy with the cone head popping out. And another. These are things that I filmed, that you can film. Oh my gosh, but they can't be real. Here's the thing. I've seen these things numerous times. I mean, numerous times. There's the two dark eyes that I always talk about. This resetting, right? Yeah, the two eyeballs, crazy head and all that, and it leaning through and looking through the supposed trees, but it's never alone. And yeah, it's blurry because at the time I didn't have the greatest of cameras. But these things are never alone. If you really pay attention in detail, and those who have eyes and they're trained it, you know that there are more than just one face, and they're not pareidolia. Not even close to being pareidolia. But they want you to believe that because they don't want you to actually think that, wait a minute, there actually are four spirits and that the Native Americans are right. And then you start reading about stuff like in Old Testament about in the groves and why did they go in the groves and what did these people get their power and how do the people that rule over us have their power over us? Oh, the real battle is spiritual after all. So I have a background, and you're more than welcome to look it up. I don't care. I work for Halls and Associates. I designed nature trails. I did the greenscaping. I proved to people in my region, where I live, in my neck of the woods, that preserving X number of parcel of land or turning some of it back, giving it back to nature, bogs, retention pools and ponds, etc., boardwalks, planting native trees, put in meadows, etc., would increase the value of their lot of property because people want to be around green. They want to have a green belt between, or strip between them and their neighbors behind them. These people just want that. They don't want to look at everyone's windows. Nobody wants to look at other people's backyard. So I do have a background in it, and I have no point in making any of this up. I'm not. And as far as getting attentions and getting followers and all that, I'm going to tell you, because I've been shadow banned, for instance, let's go back to this. This gives you a fine example. I can't get any views anymore. I used to have 4,000 subs. And some of my videos had over 50,000 views. Most of them, a couple hundred, maybe get a couple thousand. But if you see, and I've been posting, I got back on to Facebook the past couple months, knowing full well that Facebook is corrupt, and then they're not going to help me out. But this is a documentation for me, and to share with anybody else that may hear the truth, because I have to share a lot of stuff that goes far beyond what people claim to be pareidolia. Now, what's interesting is that we see I got 95 views in this video, right? And outside of the people that have been following me, who have been following me and following this channel and following me over BitChute, there's no comments. It's now up to 99, almost 100. How many likes have I got out of that? From all those people, because we're going to tell you that, so 95 of those people that supposedly looked at it, not one like, not one comment, not one new sub. The odds are of not just getting one new sub are astronomical. In other words, it's an impossibility, a mathematical impossibility that I would not get one new sub. And I've had 113 subs for quite a while now. Now you look at the stuff that I post, and I post a diverse group of things. And I don't care if you follow me. It's up to you. I mean, it's your loss, not mine. I'm not getting anything out of it. This is a documentation of the truth. But you can look, and how many videos I have posted. And I'm experienced as far as having a YouTube channel. I'm experienced as far as interviewing people. Experienced as far as having a show. Once first being Nothing But the Truth, and then afterwards starting with the second one being Old Religion Dystopia. Well, you can just see it. And it went from there. There was like a year, and you can see there's a big gap. I just stopped. It was 10 months. Then boom, a month ago. So a month ago I started posting videos again. Now think about what I'm saying here, okay? If you look at the number of videos that I have posted, one view, two. Now I'll give you an example of how little benefit I'm getting by sharing this. I can go to BitChute. The BitChute, I started talking about Bigfoot and all that, and it stayed stuck at 1,200 and 1,273, excuse me, and it hasn't gone anywhere. Now, if you were to pay attention to my channel, if you were one of the followers, well, you can see, the most. I did have one that was at 22,000 but I took it down because it was another government psyop. I got caught, and it's very hard not to get caught in these things. But anyways, so 1,000, 1,400, that kind of stuff. You can see it's not the most. It's BitChute, so it's not going to be that. But you can get to 600, and you can go through this whole thing, and you can scroll down. Old Religion Dystopia, Known versus Belief. Because after they took down my channel back in 2022, January the 6th, early morning, January 26th, and I'm not even political, but because I was exposing the inner circle and workings of how the power structure works in the West, well, therefore they had to take me down. But it wasn't just me. It's not just uniquely Michael Adams. There were thousands of us, and tens of thousands of us got taken down by the government and private contractors, and those who worked for the government and the military, and etc. Okay, and you can see far more views that I get here. I mean, it's not like great views. My views have dropped drastically once I started focusing on Bigfoot and that kind of thing. But the reason why I'm doing that is because I know that is a big element of the deception. But the deception is worse than people want to believe. But you can see, I mean, it started really dropping off. As time went on, when I started, like, in particular, like Visigoth and his stuff, trying to archive some of the old school stuff from 20 years ago, the pirate radio stuff and all that were warning people. But if you see, if you just go through his, there was me focusing on the Ukraine thing, and then it was the convoy thing, and then it was, and you can see, so I'm relentless. I'm not giving up on any of this, because my thinking is not to have followers. And I gave up a long time ago. If I wanted followers, I do something really stupid and dumb and childish and ignorant, and something that my son would like and other people like, and try to get 1 million followers, because then you can actually make some money off YouTube and all that. I never was ever about making money or having a great following. I was always about trying to share the truth about stuff. Now this dude called Kobo, which I don't believe is even a real person. He might be a real person, but I've seen this weasel before, and he is really a weaseling dude. And Plowboy, look at that, he's a weaselly dude. God have mercy. Anyway, so they'll listen to that dude any day of the week, but they listen to this dude, who actually, this is one of my drawings. I understand about art, and I'm going to share with you what Pareidolia is and the difference between Pareidolia and what I'm sharing with you. And I think he's probably jealous because I'm better looking than him. I got a better beard than him. I got a better set of hair than him. And I got a better cone, a better head. Got a real forehead and a real square jaw. I'm not some weaselly dude, but that might be mean-spirited out, whatever. Here's a look at so anthropology. What's anthropology? It is the study of what makes us human. All right, and it also people's belief systems, mythology, and all this other jazz, right? And isn't it interesting and convenient when you look at the illusion, which is this thing right here, of a man coming from an ape to a man, which is an illusion. There's no proof in any of that. In the end, it might be true, but it's not. It's if anything, this might be more the case, right? To stare at a humpback. That's happening to me too. But they use anthropology as a way to screw with people's heads. First of all, this whole appeal of authority, which is a total wrong. If you want to know the truth, you must abandon this. Whether it was Bigfoot, what the Bible really says, what cultures really believe in, what's really out in them woods, you're going to have to go find out for yourself. And by the way, the world's going to be empty with you. Remember that. Those who love the truth and want to do what's right, the rest of the world's going to be empty with you. It's a fact. Pareidolia. Let's get examples of pareidolia. Now you will find over and over and over and over again their examples of pareidolia, but they won't look anything like what I just shared with you. This one. Where should we go? We just look at the images. So here we have pareidolia. This is claiming to be a pareidolia. Right? A knot in the tree in this mouth, right? Yeah? So this is a tree, and obviously somebody spent a little time cutting in a little bit. Or how about this one? That's pareidolia. Or how about this one? That's pareidolia, right? These are artist renderings. Now let's go back to what I shared with you. Does that look like an artist rendering? How about if we get to, just go into files here and look, since I've been accused of such things. I notice most people will never even bother to blow up the things or crop the images or bother to do anything. They'll listen to, and they know this. They know that you will listen to a clown like Cobble, Plowboy, instead of you bothering looking into this. Now, if you see this, just cut this out and tell me. Now, if you blow anything up, it's going to get distorted, and understand that, right? Well, this is high up in a tree, and that's right there. So, so tell me how that works in pareidolia. Give me an example, a definitive example of how that's pareidolia compared to what the world offers as the pareidolia, which is something like that. They are far different things. Far different things. That's, somebody could just, dig in a little bit with a knife and all that back in the day. And you could do something like that, you know what I mean? Hey, look. I mean, don't think that just didn't. And they talk this whole thing about and they want you not to believe what's really going on. So they're doing everything in their power to convince you. But no one's going to look at that and say, oh, wow, that's the spirit. That's Bigfoot, right? No, that's a couple of old branches that have been broken off, and another one that's been dug out, and somebody decided to dig in a couple holes right there and all that. Oh, that's pareidolia. No, that's an artist rendering. And you're always going to see artist renderings when it comes to pareidolia. You understand that? Not the real thing. The real thing is going to blow your mind. Listen, I've seen these things. I had one crawling up a ravine, and this guy standing right next to me, a Crow Indian medicine man, and the damn thing was frickin'. It couldn't have been any more than 15 feet away from the time we just started to bail out. I said, I've had enough of this. You know why I had enough of this? Because the dumbass started throwing pizzas at it. He thought it was a real cute and clever thing to do. I thought it was a really dumb thing to do because I knew exactly what was going to happen. You know what was going to happen? It was going to come home to my place. And it did. The next time I saw one of those things, as vivid as I saw that one that night, but even more vivid, it was about 15 feet, 20 feet away from me and in my backyard. And a lot of terrible things happened the next 3 days. Or back to this thing, who's my cover page, that one, and that one is about 30 yards away from my back of my car. Or this one, which is, and you can look, you can go into the archives and look about it. If you go back in deep enough time, and it isn't very far, you only have to go in a month worth of videos to find it. All right. Or you could, even easier, if you are on Facebook, you just go to my Facebook page and look at the images that I shared with you there. Which I'm not hiding anything from you. I'm not gaining anything from being you, my friend, or following you. And there's no money I get out of this. There's no wealth or riches. There's no fame. There's no, in fact, everything I've experienced from the Bigfoot community has been nothing but pain, suffering, and misery. That's the truth. But I keep sharing it. It's not because I want to be part of your group, but because there's people that are in your group that must come out of your group. Come out of my people. Come out of Mystery Babylon and leave these people alone, and you go pursue the truth, because you're not going to find the truth with the herd. Never going to happen, and it's never gonna. It never did happen, and it never will happen. So you will go through this whole thing saying this is pareidolia. That's pareidolia, and you will go through this whole thing of people's. It's pareidolia. But I want you to show me in any of this, any of the endless images, and you'll see these endless images, and that they are the exact same thing that I shared with you, with that head popping out of that fucking big damn ass tree, with its whitish skin, its off-colored skin that's different than the color of the leaves. And yes, I tweaked it a little bit to make it come out again, but it's not going to make a difference in the matter. You do the same damn thing. Or that thing happened. An eyeball? Show me, folks, in the trees, eyeballs. And not only show, just rephrase that. Show me how somebody in the middle of that fucking tree, high up in that tree, you put the eyeballs in there in that tree. You hang it somehow. You hang the whole thing and try to make it look exactly the way it is. You're smart enough to do that, right? You're clever enough to do that. I'm dumb. You're clever. I'm an artist. I have a scientific background. I'm dumb. You're clever. Right? Now, the fascinating thing is about when Colbo and all the others were attacking me, and if you look at the timestamps when it happened, he didn't even bother even getting 15 minutes into the video when the start of the attack happened. Which tells me this is all part of this same thing that's going on. And is happening in so many different levels of how they are literally going out of the way to suppress any truth about anything. And this goes back to Casey, what he said, the CIA director, who said, he accomplished their goal when everything the American believes is a lie. Paraphrase. And that's the truth. Now, I am not going to stop sharing the truth, and I expect fully to be shadow banned, to be blacklisted continually, to be rejected, to have one asshole after another like Coble. And I've experienced, you know how many Bigfoot supposed research groups I've been kicked out of? Do you know how many people eventually have come around and said, Mike, I think you were right, in secret? It's because the truth is the truth, and truth has always been the truth, and always been a spiritual realm surrounding us. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe in Jesus or not, that ain't gonna make a damn bit of difference. When you think you got a scientific background, horse crap. Now, what's interesting about these entities, when I captured them, you can see it was 2019. It's not 2017. So I've been filming these things for quite a bit. And the damnedest of things is, it was in a ravine that a lot of it, since this time, has been cleared out. In fact, the whole territory where these things were has been, the amount of trees, shrubs, and everything has been just removed and buildings put on top of it. It's amazing. The spiritual implications of all it. The spiritual always precedes or leads the physical. Now you say, "Oh, that's not good enough picture." Okay, that's not good enough picture. Well, then watch the rest of the video and the other videos and tell me if you find another image that you like or don't like. And then ask yourself the question, why is it you don't like it? Oh, it's not good enough. It has to be pareidolia. Yet, this is what pareidolia is, folks. It's a a sink that makes it look like, oh, look, it looks like a ghost. No, that's pareidolia. An artist's rendering. That's pareidolia. This is pareidolia. Artist renderings. This is an artistic. It is an artistic technique that they turn into a psychological or neurological disorder. Isn't that interesting? How that works constantly? In order to discredit the average person, the average man, and say, "Oh, you're just stupid and dumb, and you should just accept whatever the hell we say because you're an idiot." Now let's look at another example of a pareidolia. Notice face, tree. Face engraved into the tree. Huh? They'll say, "Oh, look at the pareidolia here. Look. Where's the eyeballs and all that?" Let's just look at this. Not to mention that it. Oh, well, that must be a real photograph. All right. Where's it at? Where's the face in it? Show me the face. Oh yeah, there is no face. Is there? Just you're just eating in the trees. Mind you, of thousands upon thousands of Bigfoot researchers who really are Bigfoot researchers, who really have gone out in the field to do the research, have all come to some similar conclusions. There's a lot of high strangeness going on, and it ain't anything what they're trying to tell us. Why are they lying about Bigfoot and what that's going on? Why do they have little weaselly dudes like Kobold out there? And it seems like there's all these white dudes that had jobs in the military before and now work for these private contractors. And their jobs is to go around as trolls and as bots to make sure that everything's nothing but confusion and nothing but argument and bickering and lies. Oh, he don't know what he's talking about. Even though everybody else is, yeah. But the anthropologist does, because he has a degree and he's in an institution that's well known for lying about everything to make sure that their grants are still maintained. And this happens throughout all higher academia, and has happened my whole life, folks. And somebody who has background in science, and I tell you, telling the truth does not reward you in this world. Far from it. Far from it. So let's see a couple things. Well, he's full of shit, huh? Let's see. This is an image. Well, that must be pareidolia. That's a Bigfoot, huh? Or is that an image? Well, it's really an inference. If you really look at the image very and you look very detailed image of something holding something in their arms. And who's that from? Let's see who that's from. It's from that dude. Do you believe in him? Facts by howtohunt.com, who's been sharing over and over again and saying the same thing, that what he experienced, what other people experienced, and everything, and he's sharing the whole gamut of things. That must be legit, right? That's not Pareidolia, right? That has to be legit. Let's go back to here and let's look at some images. We'll have to do a couple parts of this, I imagine. This is another image that came from him, from somebody that sent him the image of something that was filmed on their game camera at night. And you can see the eyes in the image and the teeth, and what's fascinating, if you look real closely at it, there's the teeth, there's the eyes and the eyes. Somebody doesn't want you to know the truth about these things, and the whole truth about these. How many stories have you and I heard about people that had these running parallel with these people as they're being chased out of the woods in the path, and there's multiple ones, and there's no evidence of them being there. There's the sound of crushing trees and branches, but when you go back and look, there should be nothing but a trail of devastation, and there's none of that. Just the sound of it. And the sound of the footprints, or the footsteps, and there's no footprints. And then sometimes there are footprints. And then many times there's footprints from people faking it, calling themselves Bigfoot researchers that are all part of some psychological operation to screw with us and have connections with the military. Now, as someone whose father was in the Korean War and my brother was a Green Beret, I have some family history in it, and they both told me, don't do it. Why did they tell me to say that? Why did they tell me that? Because it's only for those people who don't have a conscience, that are steeped in wickedness. And if you pay attention to the past 50 years of all the wars that we've been involved in, we being the United States government, which is really not you and I, it's been one evil thing after another. If you really even looking at what's going on in the Ukraine right now and the connections with the Nazis and the Ukraine, you'll be shocked. Go to the Duran to start with. Go to Viva and Barnes. Look up these people that are actually spending their time and energy and research this stuff. You know, there's a lot of us that did spend a lot of time doing our energy and research. I did over 24 a 20-plus part series with M.K. Davis. You know, that guy was brutalized, made fun of, and made a joke of. And yet he, of all people, was the one who did the most work to validate the Patterson film. So don't come telling me about the Patterson film and all this other jazz, because I know exactly what's going on, and I don't need your crap. But you know what? The fact of the matter is, there are some people that need to hear what I have to say. If it sets them free from the bondage of what's going on out there. They're lying to you, folks. Go up there and find out for yourself if it's real or not. You're going to have to experience the evil and the fear and the dread, and some people even become friends of these things. And it's not just a unique thing that's just happened once in a while. A shaman after shaman, Native American after Native American tribe, all dealt with these things. Because you were not going to be able not deal with those things if you spend any time on the edge and around the edge of the woods or in the woods. There's no way in hell you're not, unless you're so wicked and so evil and so, just so, a lot of guys, they go out in the woods to get drunk, and it's poison. It's called spirits. And it's devastating to you, and it will crush your connection with these things. Why do you think they fed the Native Americans all this poison, and just as they did to the slave class in Europe? It's to keep you from being connected with reality. These things are real, folks. It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. It doesn't matter if you believe in me or not. It doesn't matter if there's ever anybody that ever follows my YouTube channel or my BitChute channel again. I'm still going to tell the truth. I get no reward out of this. There's no fanfare. Everybody that I ever talked to about this stuff has rejected me, made fun of me, and mocked me. Yet I know exactly what the hell I went through, what I've seen, and what I've shared with you. There are multiple images that I've shared with you. I'm not going to share them all now because I don't want to. I want to talk right now. But you can look at some of these images. You can look a little deeper. You can do some effort. In fact, and what I'm going to do is play a couple of videos, just bits and pieces of a video. See what happens. Maybe. I don't know. I've got to worry about whether I get a strike or not. Another strike if I share the truth about what's going on. Oh, it's all pareidolia, folks. Sure, it's all pareidolia. But that's exactly what they want you to believe. It's all pareidolia. What's the interesting thing is also these spirits, they create some of those things that they would claim to be pareidolia. The image of the head or said head of whatever is a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot or something like else, like this thing right here, if you look a little closer, or if you look even a little closer and stop thinking about what they're saying, because they don't want you to believe that they're spirits. They're going to convince you until they're blue in the face that that's all pareidolia. But it's not all pareidolia. It's not even close to being all pareidolia. The problem is they're gonna, until you get honest to what's really going on, which is a very difficult thing to do. I understand how difficult it is for the average person to be honest about anything, let alone what's really going on. But here's another, this is a very famous image. Now you will have to make a decision what you see in this. You'll say it's all pareidolia. There's no such thing as spirits. You're so smart, and you're smarter than anybody else. And you're smarter than all the billions of other people who recognize and knew that they're spirits. You're so smart, and you're so clever that you can outwit everything and everybody because why? You went to school, and you were schooled and educated by the same people who have lied to you about every other thing. Did you bother to challenge any of the official narrative and stories when it came to Bigfoot? Or are you just going to sit back in your lazy chair or in your wheelchair eating your bonbons and doing nothing? By the way, I have MS, so I can't walk anymore without a walker or use a wheelchair. And me and my son went out, and you know what's funny thing is, I found 2 X structures within a half an hour of not trying very hard on the side of the road. It doesn't take a genius to do what has been, it doesn't take a genius. It just takes somebody to get honest about the fact that what you think you're seeing and what you know you're seeing are 2 different things. What you believe in and what you know are 2 different things. What is real and what you believe in are 2 different things. And believe me, just because somebody has a sharp tongue and acts like Mr. Know-It-All and has read a few books doesn't mean he knows jack squat. Let me ask you something. What does it matter to you whether it's a spirit being or a physical being? Why did you invest so much in that? From what you experienced, how do you know it's not both or something in between, or something completely other than what you understand. What are you afraid of? I thought what you're afraid of, just like everyone else is afraid of being made fun of. Okay, you make fun of me, I'll be the fall guy. You can either come follow me, or there's other people to follow, and I'll lead you. So you might find the truth. And guess what? No money, no reputation. I have to lose everything. I've already lost everything. I had 4,000 subs before, just taken down. It might not seem a lot, but it was earned. I earned those 4,000 subs with sweat and tears and credibility, not just entertainment. I didn't go out to entertain you. I don't care if I have 113 or 4,000 or 400,000. In fact, the more popular you get in this godforsaken system, the worse it's going to be. So, quite frankly, I'd be real happy to never ever have more than a few hundred people that sub in YouTube. Because that way I'll still be able to share with those people who really want to know the truth and not be so heavily censored. Although I'm a part of the algorithm and they still managed to block me and do stuff already, even my new channel. So, and they still managed to give me strikes and everything else. Anyways, I'm not making it up, and if you want to know the truth and you want to see that, I will share that with you as well. You just say. I want you to look at this picture, and I want you to tell me what the hell's going on there. And if it's just pareidolia, and that's all you're going to do, then I want you to compare the pareidolia that's in this picture with something else that's pareidolia that you have been proven 100% that's pareidolia. I know people from Northern California who've seen Bigfoot, Sasquatch, firsthand. I've been in Northern California and felt the fear and what the heck's going on in those woods. Never saw them there. Of all things, I saw them here where I live, in Northwest Ohio, where you're not supposed to see any of that stuff, huh? Well, it turns out they're everywhere, and ever there's trees, where there's life. Tell me, what's going on, Mr. Know-It-All, Cobble, and all the rest of you? And I'd be more than happy to do an interview with anybody. I'd be more than happy if you want to get on Facebook Messenger and do a recording, and I'll post it on YouTube, BitChute, and everything else. And you can say anything you want to about me, but I'm not going to play this stupid game because I know what it is, the setup. When it comes to these on Facebook and all those other things, the typing war, because no one's ever going to understand the truth. No one's ever going to see the full. There's no way you can't. And you have to hear from the voice. You have to see the lips move. You see the eyes move. You have to see it to know a person. Typing something is easy to be misunderstood. This has been well established for years. Not just a couple years, not just a couple decades, not a couple hundred years, but for thousands of years. Words on paper can be very deceiving. You're always going to need more than words. So, whatever. But I'm grateful for them, all you guys that attacked me. I'm grateful for also there are you, and the Bigfoot, the Sasquatch Chronicle bullcraps. Let's see, fans. I'm so grateful for the people who said they like. And because it turns out that it's about 50-50, maybe even better 50 most people, but they're not. See, no one's liking my channel, no one's liking it there, no one's subbing there. What's going on with that? It's not just because I suck, because Kevin Cobble sucks, and he's a renowned sucker, and you know that, Kevin, don't you? But you're not liked by too many people in the real life. For good reasons. You're a weasel. But as far as the Sasquatch Chronicle fans go, You know, at least, and I'm recording it now before they take it down, because eventually they're going to take my video down. They're going to take it down, I guarantee you. They're going to take it down, or they're going to bury it one way or the other, because they have to. Why do they have to? They have to take it down or bury it, because if people hear the truth about what I'm saying, then it's going to cause serious problems. Serious problems. And people can mock me all they want, but they're not just mocking me, they're mocking tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people throughout history that experience the same damn fucking things. So if you look at this, who's liked my video? 11 thumbs up, and a couple paid shills, trolls, government agents, and those subordinate to these government agents. Their job is to go around and cause problems, in particular in the Bigfoot community. There's something about the Bigfoot community, just like Illuminati playing cards brings up. There's something about it that not only divides and conquers people, not only divides and conquers people, but it's what's the best way to it causes people to spiritually have problems. You know, our ancestors, whether it was in North Europe or even Britain or Eurasia or Africa or wherever it may be, all knew there were these spirits. And somebody and something went out of their way, pretending to represent Jesus Christ and Christianity, to destroy that truth. And there's a reason for that. Because it's through it's through the spirit realm that causes the havoc and keeps men from having their one world order. I want you to think about what I just said there. It's through the spirit realm, God in the spirit realm, his angelic realm, that causes or keeps them from having their one world order. And they've convinced you and I, whatever your background is, to hate each other and to mock each other. And I never said that Bigfoot was not a physical thing, because I seen the damn thing with myself. But the thing is, when it jumped, and it landed on the ground, I don't know, a few yards away from me, 15 yards away from me, based on the weight of the damn thing, the earth should have shook. And nothing. Nothing. There's something seriously spiritual going on. But you can't talk about that. Oh no, we got to find that flesh and blood thing, and it's important that we keep chasing out that and weaponize anthropology and weaponize it to the point that we get people to believe in all sorts of nonsense. And pretend, and they'll say, well, I believe in science, as if it's a person. As if it's a religion. There's the scientific method, folks. And the application of the scientific method. And it either proves something to be so or not. Or brings up most of the time more questions. There's no such thing as an individual thing called science. But there is a new religion that's been pushed on us. It's called scientism. I wonder when Cabo and guys like Cabo will hear what I just had to say. If they ever will hear what I have to say. I doubt it very much. But then again, it's out in the ether, God. I've tried once again to speak the truth. To speak the truth. Regardless of what they do to me, God. All praise and glory go to you, Lord God Almighty, Yeshua the Messiah. Jesus, thank you for everything.
If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind.
if I can.